Our next question comes from Mike Sela. He's an anchor at WTOC in Savannah. Take a listen.
President Trump signed an executive order deferring payroll taxes for Americans earning less than $100,000 a year until the end of this year. He says he wants to make it permanent if reelected. Now, the payroll tax pays for things like Medicare and Social Security. The Social Security chief actuary says that would mean Social Security would be depleted if that went forth 3 years from now. These are called entitlement programs, which can give the perception that people feel they deserve these programs without doing much for it. But the truth is, the American people have paid into these programs with every paycheck over the course of their lifetime. What would be your plan moving forward?
Senator Graham, first to you.
Well, number one, let me tell you about me and Social Security. I'm the first in my family to go to college. Ms. Harrison has a great story. But neither one of my parents finished high school. My dad was a World War II veteran. We owned a liquor store and a bar, and you can't afford to get sick. You go to work every day because if you don't open up, you don't get paid. My mom was diagnosed with Hodgkin's disease. We were underinsured, and we got wiped out. 15 months later, my dad dies. If it wasn't for Social Security survivor benefits, my sister Darlene, who was 13, we wouldn't have made it. We moved in with an aunt and uncle that worked in the textile mills and up in Oconee County. She got Pell Grants. We're all one car wreck away from needing help. I'm a Republican, but I get that. I really do. What would I do to save Social Security? Whatever it takes. I make $175,000 a year as a senator. I have a military retirement. I have a congressional retirement. I'll take less in benefits to make sure somebody like my aunt who worked in the textile plants who can't afford to get less. I think COLA for upper income people like me, you shouldn't get the same COLA as somebody on a fixed income. We've got to work together. We've got to save Social Security, and the way you save it is if you can afford to take a little bit less, do it. I can now. When I was 21, I couldn't. I would never ask anybody to give up any benefits they couldn't afford.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Harrison.
Well, one way that you save Social Security is not by eliminating the payroll tax right now and during this time period. Because as the actuary mentioned, it would wreck this program. And again, Social Security is important to me. I remember when my grandfather passed away in 2004. My grandparents were on a limited income. They didn't have a pension. They didn't have a 401k. All they had was their Social Security. I remember sitting there at the Social Security office with my grandma because our thought was that she would get both her check and my grandfather's check. The woman said, Ms. Harrison, you'll get a death benefit, which was about $300. And my grandma said, well, when will I start getting Willie's check? And the woman said, you won't. You'll get the higher of the two. And it was like somebody punched my grandma in the gut because she was thinking, oh my God, how do I pay for all of these things? Folks deserve the money that they have put into this system. Lindsey Graham said, he said that Social Security and Medicare were promises that we can't keep. Senator, I'm sorry, but they are not promises. People have paid into these systems, and they deserve to get the money back that they put into it, because that is the livelihood that they have.
Thank you, sir.
May I ask?
Absolutely, Senator Graham.
Number one, you want a senator who can fix a problem. You got to acknowledge you got a problem before you can fix it. In 1950, there were 16 workers for every Social Security recipient. We're down to 3. In 20 years, there'll be 2. My aunt's on Social Security. Most of my family worked in the cotton mills, and that's all they've got. I'm of an income level where I could take a little bit more, and I would to save Social Security. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to take bipartisanship. Ronald Reagan, working with Tip O'Neill, saved Social Security back in 1983. Something like Simpson Bowles, I'm ready to work with Democrats to save Social Security and Medicare. I'm willing to pay more for my prescription drugs because I can, and there's people out there that can't. But I'm not going to turn America into a socialist nation, and that's their agenda for your health care.